Hey there, Walter here. It is Christmas time, obviously, so nothing says peace on earth and goodwill towards men better than building the Fanhome Knight Rider model kit. We have issue number 6 right here, so let's get started building it. Okay, ready to start this up here. Get this opened up, and as usual I'm going to show what the parts are. I have checked these out before, and it looks like these are just for the engine assembly. Looks like I'm going to be starting the engine right now. So I don't know how this is going to fit exactly, but a lot of silver pieces here, and we're just going to go ahead and start working on these. Okay, while the family is making dinner, I am going to go ahead and start working on this. And I'm going to start by pulling these out. Now, looking at my booklet here, it says that we're going to assemble the turbine and connect the fan wiring to the electronic control unit. So I think that means I need to grab the main assembly that I had before on the last video. Nice metallic pieces here. Now first we're going to take this funny looking black piece here, and we're going to attach it to this black piece. This funny looking piece is the air intake mount, and it gets connected to the turbine front, which is this black piece. We use 2 AM screws. So I'm going to get these screws out. I still need to get a some kind of a cabinet here to hold all these screws in. I still haven't done that yet. Now check and see which way this gets assembled here. And it looks like this gets assembled this way. That's the way it looks to me. So I'm going to get this oriented, and then I'm going to go ahead and put these AM screws in. The M in the AM means it's metallic pieces, so I'm going to use the oil. This is at a 90-degree angle, so this is a little bit difficult. Okay. I feel tension on this screw, so it's definitely working. There we go. I have no idea how this engine is going to look. All I've done is seen the photos. So when the other assemblies show up, I'll go ahead and work on them as well, like I want to, and we'll see how this engine is going to look. It's supposed to be a rather futuristic looking engine that they've never even shown in the series. Alright, we've got this piece in here. Now, push the strut on the turbine front, which is this flat piece right here, over 2 posts indicated in the turbine top. Okay, we got this all set up here. We're going to go ahead and put this black piece into this turbine top. So this gets oriented like so. And then it says to use 2 GM screws. Oh, I didn't pull them out. They were right here. There's one. bouncy little things. And there's two. Dump that in some oil and start screwing this in place. I think these are going to be really fast assemblies because there aren't too many pieces to these assemblies right now. There is that. Oh, now I have to get the main body, so I'll be right back with that. Okay, now I have the main body right here, and I need to figure out which one of these hoses goes where. We have a 5 centimeter, okay, that's got to be the short one. Then we have a 7.5 centimeter, which would be the medium one, and then 10 centimeter is the longest of the three. So we take this 5 centimeter one, and I put that on the lower post of the electronic control unit. Which is this one right here. Okay. I don't have that in there. Now I do. And the other end on the right post of the fan motors. So it looks like it connects up to the fan like so. And the cats are fighting. When don't they fight? Let me move this light over here so I can get a little bit better view. I do have this hooked up now. It is hooked up correctly. Alright. Now I take the 7.5 millimeter. That hooks up on the middle post of the electronic control unit. And I think I have that on there now. I'm not sure. I'm double checking. That is hooked up correctly, and it says this hooks up to the middle post of the fan motors. Okay, that one is in. Now we gotta get this longest piece, and I gotta close this oil up before I accidentally spill it. This one goes on the upper post, which I have here, and that goes on the left post of the fan motors. There it is, and that's the assembly right now for assembly number 19. Alright, assembly number 20 here. We're going to put together the right exhaust of the turbine. Now, looking at all these parts here, I'm seeing that the screws are listed P. That means plastic, which means I don't need to use the oil for that. So I could just leave that oil aside. And get all these silver looking pieces out. And and they are bouncing everywhere. So first thing we have to do here, once I learn how to talk, is to assemble these exhausts, these two halves of the exhaust right here. I think that the camera needs to be turned just a little bit better. There we go. So I have to assemble these. I believe they go like this. And I have to install 2 BP screws. We have a cat that is running everywhere. Obviously. It's jumping all over the place. So we've got one screw right here. Get this other screw in for the plastic pieces. This looks really, really simple right now. Only 4 parts. Next we're going to assemble these parts here. Push part 4, which would be one of these. I don't know which one. I'm assuming it goes this way. Yes, it does. It goes just like this. So I had it right. It goes onto the turbine right exhaust. So that gets hooked in place like that. And then we put this cover this goes, let me see which way this goes. I believe it goes like this. There's a little tab on it, and I believe it fits right in this section right here. So it needs to be hooked up with a CP screw in the middle hole. Yeah, it says in the center hole. This is why I keep saying always check your instructions. Figure out how your instructions are listed so you can put everything together correctly and not mess up like I have a tendency of doing. I'm going to pull 3 of these CP screws out because there's 3 holes to hook these in. Now I put this into the center hole. Here we go. I have tension on the screw, which means it is going into place. Now using the 2 other CP screws, attach the parts together. Now this is for the right exhaust, and I show a letter R on the inside of this. I will show it once I get these screws finished here. So which means I believe the next assembly is for the left exhaust. Okay, these are kind of longer screws, but they fit in. There we go. This is the completed piece, and there is a letter R on the inside of it. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but that's what that is, and that is assembly number 20. Just notice this little 3D type graphic on the back here. That looks really interesting. I like seeing stuff like that. Alright, this is number 21, assembly number 21, which is the left turbine exhaust. So it should be assembled almost the same as the right exhaust. So I have to pull all these pieces out here. And I see that these are P screws again. So it looks like we don't have to use the oil on this one. So, starting just like the other one here, we assemble these two pieces together like so. And those get put together with 2 BP screws, just like the last assembly. They gave 2 extra BP screws here. A total of 4 in this envelope. That's okay. I have enough extra screws already here. I think they deliberately put extra in case any get lost. And there is a cat in the way. I'm going to shoo this cat out of the way here. There we go. Now this is going to fit on the turbine left exhaust, just like this. Just like the previous assembly. Assembly number 20, I believe. Yes, 20 was the previous one. And then I'm going to take this funny looking piece right here. This is like a cover that fits over. And then I have to hook these in with the CP screws. And the first one goes into the center hole, just like the previous assembly. This cat is curious. The cat must want to get into model building. These look like really quick assemblies today because there are not a lot of pieces to them, like I had said before. This is interesting. I'm assuming that the next few assemblies are going to be more of the engine. I skipped over what this part had said here, because I had already read it, and it said to install 2 more of these CP screws to this part here for the turbine exhaust. And this one is done, and you can see there is a letter L in there also. That signifies this is the left exhaust. That is issue 21. Alright, issue 22 here. It says here we're going to join the left and right sides of the turbine housing to the other parts that were already assembled. So if I open these up, I don't know what all these parts are for, because obviously I haven't worked on it yet, so I'm going to get all these out. This is better than working on that suspension. I didn't like working on that suspension here. We have a little rod. I don't know what that's for yet. And then 2 of these turbine pieces here, I believe. I believe they are turbines. And they are cookie shaped. except I don't think we would want to eat those. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to align the holes in the turbine left housing. There's a letter L in there. Like I said before, I don't know if the camera can see that. So we're going to take these right here and hook it, and it looks like it goes that way. Now these get hooked up with BP screws. So the letter P means no oil needs to be used. We have quite a few BP screws here. Now these screws hook on from the inside. And I'm hooking on the wrong spot. I'm hooking onto these tabs here. I didn't look at the instructions. There's 2 holes also, and that's where these pieces go. So obviously I need to learn to pay attention to the instructions, as I always say. I say it, but I never do it. So we can say shame on me. Okay, this is hooked up. Next we have to place the tab of the turbine left housing mount, which is one of these black pieces. This has the letter L on it. I'm going to try to see if the camera can see that. I'm not sure, but there's the letter L. And that hooks up. Let's see if I can get the orientation right on this. We're looking at this way here. So this needs to hook up like this. I believe that's the correct way it's supposed to hook up. And that gets 2 BP screws. This is going to be interesting because it's at a 90-degree angle. One screw is in. Excuse me. Alright, that's how that hooks in. Now we need this turbine housing top. And according to the photograph, it goes like this, and this fits like this. Right over these posts in here. Now those get 2 GM screws because this turbine housing top is metal. So I need to get my oil ready. It's time to get 2 GM screws. Alright, we'll set that aside. cat is going everywhere.
Alright, this is how it looks right now. So now we're going to do the same thing with the other side. So make sure I get this figured out correctly. Okay, it goes on like that. 2 BP screws. It's a little tough getting these screws out. There we go, I have them out. And learning from my mistake before, I have to remember, put these in these holes by paying attention to the instructions. I'm looking ahead and I see what this pin is for. I'm kind of curious how it's going to stay in place. But we'll get to that in a minute. Because right now we need to put this piece on. Looking at the orientation, this goes like so. Just like that. And that gets 2 BP screws. I think that will do it for the BP screws. I don't think I need any more for that. But I'm going to find out here in a minute. Okay. Alright, I need to get 2 more GM screws out because it's time for this left, or this is actually the right housing, the right exhaust housing, and that's going to be attached to the turbine top. It's just like the previous assembly here. This will fit on just like that. And I need 2 GM screws. This is going to be a big engine, but then it is a big model. Alright, this looks like some kind of a funny looking animal right now with weird legs, or a metallic turkey or something like that. I'm not sure which. But now we're going to insert this pin. I have to take this out. This is packaged a little odd. There we go. Here's the metallic pin. Actually, I think it's plastic. I'm not sure. It could be either one. Okay, now I'm going to take this pin. I'm going to shove that through these 2 holes right here. And I don't know how that's going to fit. Fits rather easily through this first hole. And now I need to line it up through the second hole. Okay. Took a little bit of finagling, I guess they call it, but I did get that in there. So that is the turbine assembly and the end of assembly number 22. Okay, that's it with the assembly here. Just assembling this little gizmo, the turbine. One of the smallest assemblies and fastest assemblies I've had to do so far. So that is it for this stage here and for this video. So as I always say, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and put all your questions and comments down below, and make sure you keep your questions and comments rated E for everybody. So until the next time we start working on this, I'm going to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and I'm going to say 73.